Hey everybody, what's going on? Thank y'all for watching this video. This is just going to be a short video today, kind of going over some baits to use when you know the fish are up there shallow on the bed or moving up to the bed, but you can't see them. Maybe the water's too dirty or maybe you don't want to get up there and spook them, so you're just kind of fan casting around. So I'm just going to be going over 3 baits that I really like to use this time of the year that, you're bed fishing, but you're not sight fishing. That's the trick of it. So, like I said, the fish is around some kind of cover, maybe you're fishing a stump row, maybe you're fishing some blowdowns, maybe you're fishing a spawning flat that's, got some gravel on it, just whatever it may be. This is just 3 baits that I like to use, 3 soft plastic baits. There's all kind of different things you can use, but if you're just looking for a worm presentation, this is my 3 favorite baits. So I'm gonna start off with the first one, just the old tried and true, just a 5-inch Senko. Color doesn't matter. It does matter. It just depends on the conditions of your lake. This one's just, just a traditional watermelon red. Just like I said, just that little 5-inch Senko. This thing's probably caught more fish this time of the year than any other bait. Maybe a lizard, but this right here is a killer bait. You can rig it, wacky Texas rigged, Texas rig with a weight. You can put on a Carolina rig, a shaky head. There's just a Nico rig. There's so many different things you can do with it, and that's one reason why I picked these 3 baits, is because of the different things you can do with them. So, like I said, you can take this 5-inch bait, wacky, you can put it at wacky. You can do a Nico, where it's going to be hitting the bottom with its head. You can put it on a shaky head if you want to. Say the fish are nipping at it, or you're fishing for spotted bass or smallmouth, you can cut off some of it and make it a 4-inch bait, 3.5-inch bait. This is just a really versatile bait. You can do a lot of stuff with it, and obviously it gets bit. It'll catch you a limit. It'll catch you 30 pounds. This is just a tried and true bait this time of the year. You can, look at it just sitting there bouncing in my hand. I'm not even moving it. This, like I said, this is a really good bait, but I'm just throwing this, fishing around boat docks, fishing around wood and trees, throwing a shaky head on a long point or a flat. Some fish might be spawning out there deeper. Just anywhere where you think a fish might be, there's definitely a presentation where you can put a 5-inch Senko in front of it, and you'll definitely get a bite. And my second one, this is going to be more for more heavy cover, getting up there a little bit shallower maybe. Obviously that's a super shallow bait, but this is going to be more like maybe flipping and pitching, bushes, trees, overhang, stuff like that, some thicker stuff. And that's just a baby brush hog. And, this is just a green pumpkin color, but like I said, color just depends on your water conditions. If the water's real muddy, you can go to a black and blue or a June bug. If it's real clear, go to pumpkin or watermelon. But I like to keep it, green pumpkin is just a really natural, basic color year-round, but especially this time of the year. This bait, what I'm going to be doing with it most of the time, just a Texas rig, probably a 3/16 ounce weight. You can peg it, fan cast it around, just drag it through an area. Another thing you can do is use this as a jig trailer, a Carolina rig. You can put this on a shaky head. This too is a very versatile bait. You can't really wacky worm it or Nico or anything like that. You could put on there weightless too. A lot of people, back in the day, they use a floating lizard. You can kind of do the same thing with this. Just, worm it. Literally worm it through an area just real slow. But like I said, this one, might be if you're around some wood, some brush, just, because you have all these appendages that are going to make a little bit more commotion in the water. Maybe the fish are a little bit more aggressive. You can go to this bait to try to, work through an area and maybe get that aggressive fish. But like I said, this is a perfect bait that you can just fan cast around. And too, obviously, if you see a fish on a bed, that's not exactly what this video is about, but if you see a fish on the bed, these are great baits to throw at them too. But my main thing is, just you're blind casting around. There's fish on the bed or up shallow in the area, but this is just like not so much a search bait, but just a bait you can get bites, and you don't have to necessarily be looking at the fish. But that little brush hog, baby brush hog, is a perfect little bait. Like I said, Texas rig, a jig trailer, a Carolina rig, that's kind of a sleeper bait. If you're fishing a lake, like say Lake West Point, Lake Wedowee, Lake Lanier, you got some spotted bass in there. Obviously some big largemouth, but if you're fishing a point or a shoal or a roadbed, you might have some fish that spawn out 8-10 foot of water. You put this bad boy on a Carolina rig and drag it through there, you'll definitely get some fish, that are pulled up to spawn or are already spawning on the bed. And the last one, which I debated, I went back and forth between what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to do 4 baits, 3 baits, you know, whatever, 5 baits, but I just narrowed it down to 3 for a short video, and that's just going to be the basic trick worm. This is just a green pumpkin one. A trick worm is kind of in the same category, obviously, as that Senko, but this one, it's the same, but it's a lot different. Obviously, you know, you can put this on a wacky worm, you can Nico rig it, a shaky head. If I'm throwing a shaky head, this is definitely gonna be my bait that's on there. And like I said, same thing. You can cut the head off a little bit. You can trim it down to whatever size you want. You want to leave it the full 6.5 inch length you can. But this is a good bait, you know, skipping around boat docks. And the main thing you can do with this is rig it Texas rig, weightless, and twitch it around. It doesn't have to be just this color. If you want to use a green, I'm sorry, like a neon green, a bubble gum, a yellow, methylate, a white, you know, just that way you can, you know, visually see your worm, but you don't exactly see the fish. You're just twitching the worm around, making it dance and hoping a big one comes up and gets it. But the trick worm is definitely an awesome bait this time of the year. And like I said, you can put this on a Texas rig with a little weight on it, a Carolina rig, you know, wacky, Nico. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but this is just a really good bait. And one reason why I added in there, because throwing this one weightless, you kind of have to use a spinning rod, but when you're throwing the Senko weightless, it's a little bit heavier, a little bit more plastic, and you can get by throwing that on a bait caster if you want to. But this one's definitely going to be more of a spinning rod setup. I mean, even the action on that for a wacky worm is great. You know, sometimes you need a little bit different action. If everybody's throwing a Senko on a wacky worm, you can throw this, or vice versa. If everybody's throwing this, you can pick up that Senko. But like I said, this is a bait, another bait that you can just drag through an area, work through an area where you know some beds are at, and definitely you can get some bites. And obviously, you know, that's not the only baits you can use, but those are my 3 favorite plastics that I'm going to be using. I mean, any from the middle of March to the end of May. I mean, those baits are going to be on the boat pretty much, you know, honestly year round, but especially this time of the year. Those baits, they get a lot of action. I use them a whole bunch, and you can really catch some big fish. And obviously, you know, just put a bunch of numbers in the boat. I mean, nobody can really argue that if you just go down the bank with a wacky worm, go down the bank with a Texas rig, and throwing a shaky head on the points or around the boat dock, I mean, you're gonna get a bite this time of the year, and you can really have some good days on some simple baits. But like I said, this is just a short video going over these baits. My next video is hopefully going to be a tackle unboxing of some big swim baits that I got. Or not, you know, not big swim baits, but 5-6 inch swim baits that I got. If you watch the Bassmaster Classic, you probably know why I'm gearing up, getting those swim baits. But thank y'all for watching this video. I know it was a short one, but I'm going to hopefully get on the lake Saturday and Sunday this weekend. Fingers crossed if the weather's right and everything works out. But like I said, I've said it multiple times already, I think, but thank y'all for watching this video, and I'll see y'all on Friday with my next video. And thanks so much for all the support, and I'm looking forward to getting on the lake this weekend and getting a good video for y'all.